Oh shit, my ass hurts. All these keys I have.
We're live.
Okay.
We gotta be saying that.
Sorry. No, what do you serious? Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Welcome to Pnn Kexu, Poor People's Revolutionary Radio on 96.1 on the dial in East Oakland, Ho-Chun territory, and streaming live online at www.poormagazine.org/radio. This is Muteado Silencio con voces de migrantes en resistencia, and formerly houseless member of the Popoes Project, in studio with fellow formerly houseless Popoe and Padre Scala, mi carnala la Tiny.
Yeah, this is PNN, not CNN, people. That's Poor People's Revolutionary Radio. Broadcast live and direct from this small part of unpimped, unplayed, unbought, unsold Mama Earth that us houseless people call homefulness, a homeless people's solution to homelessness.
From Scamlord to Houseless, on this edition of Poor People's Radio, we will speak with warrior, comrade, fellow Padre Scala, Des Martinez, from the homeless in Fresno. But first, we will hear our sister family member from Voces de Migrantes en Resistencia at Poor Magazine about the nightmare that she's dealing with, who, like many other poor folks and indigenous folks, are dealing with a culprit, Scamlord, in Treasure Island, who had left the buildings filled with dangerous mold and are now threatening indigenous tenants. They have to leave if they don't have documentation. We will hear from her struggle and shed the light on the violence.
Bienvenido, Dora. ¿Qué pasa?
Gracias. Gracias. ¿Cómo están? Buenas tardes.
Sí, buenas tardes. Mucho triste para su situación. Por favor, dice nosotros, ¿qué pasa con situación con Treasure Island?
Bueno, pues recientemente, de repente, la gente estaba recibiendo notificaciones de desalojo o de moverlos a otro lugar.
So recently, they have sent, telling people that they're going to move people, they are going to evict people.
Pero era tan triste porque antes de decirle a la gente, ellos ya tenían las cajas listas para empacar las cosas de la gente.
But again, the sad stuff is that even before they were telling people, and turning them for eviction and moving to other buildings, they were already coming with the boxes, the cardboard boxes to move people, as they're telling people.
Y lo que pasa en esta situación, lo más triste es que este problema, nosotros pensamos y creemos y estamos 100% seguros que es un problema de racismo.
And again, what we believe as tenants is that what's happening here in this incident is that this is racial. We're being racial profile. This is because of our race.
Y la razón que digo eso es porque hay muchas personas de muchas nacionalidades en este programa de housing.
Because there's different nationalities in this housing program.
Que están en el mismo programa, pero solamente están moviendo a gente latina.
But again, they're only moving and asking people to move only the Latino community.
Wow.
La razón que están dando ellos, que porque ese es un edificio federal.
And what they're saying is that they're doing that because this is a federal building.
Pero es algo injusto, porque
this is
hay
unfair.
gente que no tiene el programa de housing, no tiene documentación y ellos se pueden quedar.
And again, it will be harsh on people who don't have documentation.
This is insane.
Y ellos se pueden quedar y eso es por eso estamos diciendo que es problema de racismo, porque solamente a la gente que está en un programa de housing que se llama Shelter Plus Care, especialmente que hay mucha gente que tiene problemas de salud mental. O sea, ¿cuál es la pinche ayuda que nos dan si nos van a chingar?
Yeah, and again, it's just that Nora is saying and speaking about that they're claiming they're helping people, but they're not. That they're actually complicating people's life, messing with people's lives in their homes, and they're actually not doing what supposedly their mission, the mission statement says.
Especialmente porque hay personas que son con problemas de salud mental.
And there's
El-
also folks there who have mental, mental health, issues with mental health.
Y básicamente este programa no sirve, porque lo que es la excusa que está dando Caridades Católicas no es Mercy Housing, es Caridades Católicas lo que le está sacando, que porque dice que el programa de Shelter Plus Care es un programa de la ciudad y que la ciudad está diciendo que como son fondos federales, que la gente tiene que salir, que no tiene documentos de ese edificio. Los del edificio Mercy Housing no está sacando a la gente. La que está sacando a la gente es el mismo pinche programa de la ciudad y Caridades Católicas.
So it's charities, Catholic charities, I believe that she's saying, are the ones that are displacing people. They're also saying that, again, this is a city program and that the funds for this housing program come from federal funds.
Right.
And so, therefore, they're, trying to get rid of folks
Espérate,
who don't have their so-called proper documentation.
espérate. I just want to be clear that listeners and viewers understand the violence of this and that everybody should stand up for these tenants because what they're facing is the same racist profiling that's got our children and our babies being kidnapped by these ICE agents. And again, if you don't know about Treasure Island, it was set up, of course, first as this crazy, ridiculous army base and all of that history, but it's also Superfine and all this other dangerous chemicals there. But for years, it has housed poor people and unsafe conditions of mold and never repairing those mold conditions. And there's years of work that the Bayview, for instance, San Francisco Bayview newspaper have done on the very, very dangerous position and conditions of that housing. And now they're turning around and threatening people with eviction if they don't have these fake papers on this occupied and stolen land. This is absolutely wrong. Nora, if you did not have this housing, what would you do? You'd end up homeless again, right?
Si usted no tuviera esta vivienda, ¿qué pasaría?
Pues estuviera en los refugios.
I would end up in the shelters.
Pero hay otro problema. Este programa, desafortunadamente, dice que ayuda a las familias. Mentira. Porque ellos...
This program claims they help families, but they don't help families.
No, they don't.
Porque cuando tú tienes una entrada, por decir, mucha gente dice, pues no reporte, pero yo necesito trabajar, ganar, ¿cómo se dice? Porque pues yo tengo que trabajar.
Also, it's complicated because I have to work to survive, for food, and again, this program seems like you can't do that.
Entonces luego ellos te incrementan la pinche renta bien mucho, a modo de que no la puedes sacar y vuelven a pagar y vuelven a sacar a las familias a las calles. Estos pinches programas tienen miles de dólares, pero no lo dan realmente como las familias lo necesitan.
And again, they're increasing also the rents, where people can't even afford it, and they end up being evicted. And again, they're claiming that they're helping folks, they're housing folks, but they're also displacing folks.
So this is Catholic Charities.
Y la ciudad.
¿Cómo se llama
El programa se llama Shelter Plus Care.
Shelter Plus Care.
Pero nombre de organización, porque...
Pues la que le está queriendo cortar los fondos.
La que está sacando a la gente es Caridades Católicas.
Yeah,
okay.
Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities, big non-profiteer, listeners and viewers, who traditionally get all kinds of resources, the so-called
Right.
help houseless people, and we know what that really becomes, nothing. And now they're abusing houseless indigenous relatives. I want to also connect the dots here. Treasure Island was a place where there was a lot of placement of houseless relatives from Frisco. I know a lot of people. We were almost got a spot there, me and my mom.
Pero
Go ahead.
les quiero decir una cosa. Primero, cuando estábamos en San Francisco, no nos querían allá la gente pobre trabajadora. Nos aventaron a Treasure Island. Ahora hicieron un pinche edificio que está todo craqueado. Parece que vivimos en una pinche cárcel aquí ahorita. Y aparte también nos quieren sacar de aquí. ¿Dónde chingados nos van a mandar?
Yeah. And again, it's sad. It's like, what the hell? They get, they don't want us in San Francisco. They kicked us out of San Francisco of our poverty. They send us to Treasure Island, and also they have us in these depleted buildings that are falling apart.
Yeah.
And again,
Putting in danger.
without proper housing.
Exactly. Wait, Nora, do you have a lawyer? A lawyer? Tenemos el abogado.
Ajá.
Si tiene un abogado que va a estar representando a los inquilinos.
Aquí no tenemos nada. El pinche alcalde vale madre. Nada más cuando anda en la campaña quiere que la gente vote. Pero ellos no se aparecen por acá, los pinches políticos.
The mayor, you already know, only when they're campaigning is that they'll they even slightly listen to people. Now that they're not campaigning, and they're not showing up.
So what, are you together with other conjuntos con otros residentes en la lucha o
inquilinos?
Anybody else?
Pues sí, aquí los inquilinos están como, ¿cómo se dice? Organizándonos, pues aquí,
Yes,
porque queremos, ¿cómo se dice? Que pues se haga justicia y que estos programas verdaderamente, por ejemplo, caridades católicas.
And these programs are supposed to be helping, that they actually help.
So,
caridades católicas tienen cada persona tiene una case manager. Pero durante todo el año no nos ayudan, agarran mucho pinche dinero, a nosotros no nos ayuda nadie, ni Caridades Católicas ni los políticos.
Catholics, they have a social work, they assign you to a social worker, which gets paid, but they're not really offering any programs, any benefits, any help.
No, they don't.
But they are getting paid.
So wait, because we're running out of time, I want to make sure. So for people to help you, support, is there anybody that's working with you right now to help organize? Is that something you need us to do?
Sí, ¿qué manera ocupan apoyo, verdad, para ponerlo también en el público que esté oyendo? ¿Qué clase de apoyo ocupan?
Yo pienso que organizar una protesta porque realmente están dando mucho dinero a Caridades Católicas y nosotros no recibimos nada. No nos dan nada.
Even beginning with a protest or asking these programs, the Catholic churches that they're supposed to be helping, start helping.
Okay. So, Nora, yo llamar a usted otro tiempo en nosotros ayuda con organizar protesta, okay? Right now, I want to say that people need to call Catholic Charities in San Francisco and tell them to stop abusing indigenous migrante tenants
and trying to evict
in Treasure Island. That's how you can immediately clap back. This is extreme racial profiling, and more importantly, in this time with the Cracker King, please. So we want to make sure that people respond. Also, stay tuned. We're going to be talking to Des Martinez from Homeless in Fresno, but I wanted to just say, Nora, you're not alone. Tú no solo, okay? You're not alone. We're going to try to figure out what we can do, and lo siento mucho para su familia y este momento, muy mal. We're so sorry you're dealing with this BS, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Una última cosa que quiero decir, que nada más que sepan que, por ejemplo, el alcalde y los candidatos del supervisor nunca se ha parado a ponerse a la orden de aquí estamos olvidados. Ellos nunca vienen, no tenemos ninguna ayuda.
They have never offered any hope.
No, they don't.
porque
go.
el alcalde anda hablando muy bonito, pero que de verdad vengan, solo viene cuando abren un parque, inauguran para los ricos, se viene a tomar la foto
Oh,
para
and
salir
he'll show up
en
when they're
Facebook, en
inaugurating
Instagram.
another gentrified park, and he'll come and take photos with the wealthy.
Sí, sí.
Mm.
I'm
Ok,
gonna,
muchas gracias.
muchas
Sí, vamos a
gracias.
estar en contacto, Nora. Gracias por su fuerza y su lucha.
Okidoki, gracias.
Okay,
Adiós.
bye-bye. Sí se
Bye.
puede. You're listening and watching Poor People's Radio. That's PNN, not CNN, family. This is an extremely disgusting situation. And, we're talking about occupied Yulamu, where if you park in your own RV over 2 hours, they fine you and tow you for the act of being houseless on those occupied streets. Don't try to be houseless in Frisco, family, because they will immediately push you off, make you move, harass you, and cite and ticket you. So this violence ain't new. And welcome to the settler, colonial town known as San Francisco. It ain't at all what they claim it is. It ain't progressive. Oh no, no, no. Treasure Island been like that for a minute. It's run by so many poverty pimps. So I just want to, on that same terrifying note, but also in the note of resistance, I want to bring in my beautiful sister warrior, a badass, amazing cat who holds it down, talking truth in occupied Yocut lands, aka Fresno.
Oh.
Before we bring in Des Martinez, that is, I wanted to show this short video that she sent us about what's going on to just frame it, and then we'll talk to you. Go ahead, bring that video in.
I love it. I'm so excited.
You're looking at the 20 sites the city of Clovis has chosen for potential high-density housing. Each blue dot marks a spot. As you can see, they are scattered all around town. Des Martinez is the advocate behind this landmark lawsuit who fought for more affordable housing in Clovis and won. For Martinez, the lawsuit was personal. She says it's about making a place like Clovis accessible for people like her who are working to rebuild their lives after experiencing homelessness.
Myself, wanted to be part of Clovis. I wanted to be a part of that life. I wanted to live there. I'm getting older. I want a slower pace type of community, and I couldn't afford it.
Affordable housing isn't just for the unhoused. She says it's anyone who cannot afford skyrocketing rent, grandparents on fixed incomes, people on disability, and young families.
Nice neighborhood, green grass, slower pace. Why not? Abuelita wants to live over there too.
That part. Just I want to say that next minute in my life.
I can't hear you.
So anyway, having said that, let me bring in Sister Des.
Wait, he can't.
Wait, we're working on technical difficulties. You know how we do.
Is the mic on the right? The right
Mic
one?
is all good.
Hi, Des. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, cool. So welcome back to Poor People's Radio, Des. You warrior badass. Tell us what's going on.
Oh my gosh, the same thing is going on all over the United States and beyond. People are losing their housing in drones. We still have fierce advocates out there fighting state legislation, budgets, bills. We got fierce warriors out in the streets trying to hold it down. We have a lot of individuals, especially families. The families are growing, and so are the older adults. Homelessness is risen at least 49% in the past 5 years. So I'm seeing a huge, not a problem, an issue that is just, it's happening everywhere, no matter where we go. It's not city, one town, one corner. It is everywhere that we're facing homelessness in drones. And so
I know that you've been doing a lot of work on the state level. to shed awareness, right? I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's gotten any kind of increase in housing beginning or change in the legislations, or I don't know if you want to shed any light on that.
Yeah, so I've been involved with a couple of coalitions that statewide work in legislation. It's been a really journey. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and it takes about 2 years for something to happen. I thought it was going to be quick. We go in, we fight, we win, we move on to the next, and that's not how legislation is. The last thing I worked on was the Perez bill, and that was trying to stop criminalization of homelessness. But we got a little bit of something out of there, and that's protection for the advocates, for the individuals, advocates, and even individuals that aren't advocates that just want to go out and help the unhoused. Now you cannot be arrested, you can't be fined, you can't be any of that. So that was the last bill that I worked on. The next ones we are currently trying to figure out where are the biggest policies that we need to pass. Now there's hundreds of them, but what the biggest ones is what they're asking us now, and it's housing. It's definitely housing and continued funding for those programs that work. Because be able to house people without housing, we're not going to be able to keep people in without the funding. So currently, right now, those are going to be the two biggest policies that we want to bring forward. There's hundreds and hundreds of policies in housing that we'll bring forward to the state every year, and we don't hear about them all. Yeah. And right now, I don't feel like there's a lot of help coming, especially with the government issues with that one guy and his issues of keeping his way with housing and who gets to keep it, who doesn't, who has the right to it. I mean, it's a whole bunch of BS, but at least the NOFA was pulled. I mean, it's not the biggest thing to celebrate, but it's just a little bit of 90 minutes before it took effect.
What I was going to ask you too, though, to give people a framework for these different settler towns. So Fresno, so-called Fresno, I don't know if they passed it or if it's still in effect, but made this crazy thing after grants passed that essentially made it illegal to even be houseless. Have that been reduced? Have they stopped criminalizing that? Has that gone down a little bit? What's the energy on that?
Actually, our last Thursday we just had, they standing to that ordinance. It's the standing is added to it now. It is the ordinance 102101A, which was no person shall sleep, lie, or sit on public property. They just brought it back again. It's been out for a year. They're happy about 774 individuals that have been arrested on that ordinance. They said it's working, so they wanted to add in a little bit more, and they added standing. So as of last Thursday, they added standing to the 102101A, which is no person can stand, sit, lie, or sleep on public property. They also added in there that you can't have a cart, a shopping cart, a buggy, a suitcase. If you're caught standing on a corner or sidewalk here in Fresno with any of those items, you are subject to be detained and arrested and thrown into jail for simply violating that ordinance. So they didn't decrease it, they added to it.
I mean, and you think about the setup from the get up with that, right? I mean, he basically criminalized for being alive. That's what they're trying to put in place here in Uchun and Oakland. These hater politricksters. And so I want to lift up that you said they think it's working. What does that mean? So that it worked in terms of erasing more houseless bodies from the street?
Get this. So they feel that, when you get arrested, basically they detain you, right? So they pull up to the encampment, everybody's detained. So once you're detained, you can't even pick your stuff up and leave, right? Because you're already violating the law. So they detain you. They take you to court, they arrest you, you go to jail, you get out, you have to go to court. Once you go to court, in court, they're like, okay, so look, we're going to work on this together. You want a bed? We'll put you in a bed. If not, we're going to force you into jail. And the person's like, dude, I wanted a bed in the first place, right?
Right.
Why didn't you ask me that when you showed up in my camp? So now they're like, oh, everybody's taking a bed. Dude, you like this.
Wow.
This is like, it's crazy because we see this happening, right?
Right.
See what they're
That's-
doing, the data they're turning into the state. It does look like that ordinance is working because when you get to court, you're offered jail or a bed. You're going to pick a
Wow.
bed like you would have in the first place.
Right.
So they feel like it's working and it's not. One thing I learned is that this pro housing application that many cities are getting, we need to invest time into reading those. I did. And you know that we had our pro housing taken away because of the advocacy work. Now we don't want to lose funding, but they got spanked really good, right? So they went back thinking nobody was going to watch the next application. These applications, they are telling the state of California that we do this, this, and that. There are 7 principles in the state of California that Cal ICH enforces that every city and county needs to use. If you do not use these 7 principles, then you can get docked on your grant applications, right? So with my city, they put on there, the Cal ICH says, when you go to encampments, how do you address the individuals without criminalizing them? My mayor said, oh, we go to the encampments and we work with them. And if they don't want a bed, that's okay. We come back and we have the Hope team, just talk to them. And we don't clear an encampment until everyone is sheltered. You see,
Wow.
we have public comment with pro housing, you guys. We have a voice and we have a right. And I know it works because they said HCD are the people we want to be our friends. If we have an issue, we have a problem, I don't care if it's shelter, outreach, anything to do with any of the funding that comes in from the state of California, you guys, you have a right to call. You have a right to email. They want to hear from us because they're the ones that decide if our city and counties get this money. And if our city and counties aren't going to do right with the money, why should they get it? It's not about withholding funds from our homeless. It's about making sure that they do what they're supposed to do. I don't want $20 million going into somebody's pocket and my brothers and sisters are still out there starving. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Why should I allow funding to come into my city if that's what they're going to do? So yeah, take it
Right.
away. We're already on the street, right?
Thank you. And that's, of course, then the other homeless solution created
Yeah.
by politricksters is sweeping us like we're trash. So there's that part. Can I ask you, Des, because we're running out of time, how can people support you? And then I know you're a poet. Can you
Yeah.
drop a poem for us, relative? Come on
Okay,
now.
so it's going to be like the biggest thing ever because I've never read to anybody. So yes, you can reach out to me through we are not invisible 2015 at gmail.com. That's probably the easiest way because please do not hit up my DM on Facebook. There's like 10,000 inboxes and I have anxiety and do not read them. So good luck.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so this one is called I Can't Breathe.
Mm,
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay. So I can't breathe. I can't fucking breathe. Justice was once my anthem. Now it's the reason I choke on silence, on systems that were never meant to hear me anyways. They said, use your voice. But my voice is hoarse from screaming into concrete walls painted with policies and dressed up in polite denial. I used to fight for justice. Now I fight for air. The kind of air that doesn't come with side eyes in a boardrooms or whispery waits of just calm down. As if calm ever fed the hungry or housed the unhoused. This burden is heavy. It presses on my chest like a boot, not from a cop, but from expectations, from being the only one in a room full of people who studied struggle but never tasted it. I show up broken so others don't have to. I put on armor made of pain and call it experience. But today my ribs ache from holding in the sobs that turn into talking points. And I ask myself, is it worth it? If I lose myself to save them? If I die for the movement while forgetting to live for me? I need oxygen, not just air, but real soul filling breath. The kind that comes from when you're not constantly drowning in crisis email trauma stories and the never ending aches of broken promises by institutions with perfect branding. I don't want to be strong today. I want to be held. I want somebody to tell me that even when I can't fight, I'm still enough. That even when I gasp, I'm still worthy. So this is my inhale. This poem, my CPR. Because if I don't say it, I'll suffocate quietly while everyone applauds my resilience. But I'm more than resilient. I am real, I am raw, and right now I just want to fucking breathe.
Whoa.
Whoa, I love that. I love that, Des. What you doing not sharing your poetry,
Mm,
fam? I just think we just birthed another poet in the
yeah.
house. I love you, sis.
Love you
Thank you, Des.
too. Love
Thank
you,
you,
Okay,
Des.
let's
brother.
keep writing, fam. Keep writing, cause the poetry anthology from Des Martinez is soon to come out on Poor
Yes,
Press.
yes.
Hey, it's my way
Hey,
to get stuff off my chest,
all
so I don't
right,
know how to speak,
beautiful,
but I do know how.
beautiful. All right, babe. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right, sister. All right, brother. See you later.
All
See
right, Dad.
you. Bye. You're listening and watching Poor People's Radio. That's PNN, not CNN, people. We just want to tell you, hold up. One event is coming up, just
Yes.
one, and
Yes.
everybody needs to come to, and that is
Again, Mercado de Cambio, the Posto. Come to be in community with the Economist Academy, Homefulness Community, Poor Magazine, Wall Street Comments, Self Hunger Program. And again, also is to support grassroots artists, makers, designers. Come and get your swag. And again, these are unique items that you can find in these malls here in the Bay Area. I just copped this
hot off the
beautiful
press.
hoodie, the Howerson, by my nephew design, Tiburcio Garcia. Chaotic, Chaotic's gonna be one of the folks there. Come and get the latest merch. We also got to invite Brother Gabe. If
Exactly.
he's around, he was here last year.
Yep.
But tell us more, Tiny, what the importance about supporting grassroots micro business in artists.
Exactly. So just quickly, Mercado de Cambio, the post though, is actually something. It's the only benefit we do all year for our baseline programs at Prensa Pobre and our Liberation School, Decolonized Academy. Um, you know, a lot of us poor folks, indigenous folks, we don't have access to ground rent, to paying for storefronts, to getting into those corporate stores, or to even getting online and doing all that stuff to sell online. But what we do and what we are able to do is sell in the community. And that's what me and Ma did for years. That's how we survived on the street when we were houseless. Somos vendedores. It's the way that poor folks and poor families survive all across Mother Earth. So I urge you to come, spend your holiday dollars on the poverty scholars, because you can get that last minute gift for. It's also solstice. It's a beautiful and magical day, and we'll be offering prayer from all four corners of Mother Earth. Again, it's our annual fundraiser. So support us poor folks with whatever you can kick down, or just come through. There's going to be free food, free hot chocolate, yummy desserts, love, badass DJ, poetry, poets will perform, and many others. So come check us out. Mercado de Cambio, the Posto at Homefulness, a homeless people's solution to homelessness. That's 8032 Black Arthur, aka Mac Arthur, in Deep East Uchun, Oakland, on December 21st at 1 p.m. Again, Sunday, December 21st at 1 p.m. at Homefulness. Come through, share your Show your love, please, because we only survive because of all of you.
Yes. So again, that's all for this edition of Poor People's Radio. To get a complete podcast, you can go to Poor Magazine or on SoundCloud or poormagazine.org or wherever you get your podcast from. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky at Poor Magazine or at Poverty Scholar or Poor News Network on YouTube. All power to the people.
Power!
Power!